Hey guys, so for today's video, we're gonna rewind and revisit into one of the movies that got a lot of people talking about it. A movie that is absolutely brilliant and had so many textured details and layers in it. Yes, that's right, I am talking about Kumbalangi Nights. This movie did so well that it wasn't just a movie that was talked in Kerala, but roughly everywhere around India. It was labeled a must-watch movie of that year, and today in this video we're going to understand why. The story of this movie is set in the beautiful place called Kumbalangi, and we get to see a rather uncompleted house in the backdrop of beautiful luscious green trees and plants, and we get to see the life of four brothers living there: Saji, Bonnie, Bobby and Frankie. Saji is the eldest of the family and he lives off of his friend's hard-earned money. Bonnie is a character that cannot speak and he tries really hard to stay away from all of this. The third brother is Bobby, who is very chill and doesn't want any responsibilities in life. And the fourth being Frankie, who is the youngest and also the most nurturing. He believes this house is hell and that there's no escape from it. All the four brothers are dysfunctional in their own separate ways. The story also focuses on the lives of another house in Kumbalangi, which includes Simi, Baby and their mother. Simi is a newlywed bride and she's married to Shammi, who is a very controlling man. Kumbalangi Nights is a character-driven story, and the story is all about how these characters are linked to each other and how the different relations affect each other. The movie is considered to be slow, but that is simply because they're trying to keep it as real as possible, just like real life. Every character in this movie, their happy moments, sad and frustrating moments, is what constitutes and builds the story of Kumbalangi Nights. Another brilliant thing to talk about this movie is definitely the theme selection of this movie. I'd like to start off with masculinity. The men in this movie are of course the four brothers and the controlling Shammi. The movie focuses on two types of men, one of course being the type of four brothers who are all masculine in their own ways, but they're also vulnerable. There's warmth in them and there's also love and affection about them. Whereas the movie shows the opposite, that is Shammi, was the typical example of a patriarchal man. He feels the need to be controlling and also thinks that it's his duty to save women. There's a scene in the movie where Shammi scrapes off the bindi on the mirror with his blade because he didn't want to see anything feminine in his reflection on the mirror. He says that he's the complete man. He's extremely proud of his facial hair and believes that facial hair is something that defines masculinity. We can even see a scene where he's trying to change the positions of the chairs on the table so that automatically he becomes the head of the family, someone who guides and saves these women and who is also the one who makes all the decisions of the family. Shammi and Saji are the oldest in their own households, but they're extremely different from each other. Through Saji, the director tells us that it's okay for men to be soft and vulnerable, and at the same time there are men like Shammi who is at the peak of their toxic masculinity. Another important thing that this movie focuses on is breaking stereotypes. We see how Saji is affected after his friend dies because of his stupid decisions. We see the director breaking the stereotype when Saji is extremely lost and he turns to help to his youngest brother. It's usually the youngest who turns to the oldest for help, but here it was the opposite. The director goes on to further break stereotypes when he makes Saji say that he can't cry. Apart from the stereotype that men cannot cry, the director also focuses on how important mental health is. We see Saji going to a therapist and crying out loud. He breaks two stereotypes in just one scene. Well, the next one is the forever stereotype that men can't cook and men shouldn't cook in the house is completely broken here by the director when we see Frankie and Saji cook meals for their family. Though this movie focuses a lot on the different types of masculinity, it was very refreshing to see women also take such strong decisions. Be it Simi, who had the guts to stand up to her strong controlling husband, or even Baby, who was confident enough to say a no to someone that she really loved just because she didn't feel like it. I guess it goes without saying that the cinematography is absolutely brilliant in this movie. The way they've captured the unfinished house, the scenery around it, be it the greens or the beautiful water scenes that we have, it really felt like we were living in Kumbalangi. The music in this movie, be it the songs or the background music, is just beautifully haunting. It adds so much to the feeling of this movie. And there's so much to speak about when it comes to the direction of the movie. I mean, there are so many layers to this movie, so many themes that's so beautifully portrayed, and it's just absolutely amazing to watch. I like how in this movie there's no one particular hero. All the characters that you see in this movie are the heroes. And not to mention the hero that we all love was the anti-hero of this entire movie. The director puts out a point through his characters. He shows different types of families and different types of men exist. And it's not just a stereotypical type of men who loves controlling. Another beautiful thing that the director showed is about fishing. We can see how Bobby was never really happy or proud and never considered it a decent profession. But it was the same fishing that changed Bobby's life, and hey, at the end of the day, they did catch Shami with the same fishing net. It doesn't matter how posh your profession is as long as it can help you. Even though the director doesn't say if being a male is better or being a female is better, he just showed how it adds more value to the other person's life. I mean, be it how the rules and disciplines changed after a woman entered that broken house, or how even the guys helped save those women from men who are extremely toxic. The director chooses these tiny moments to indirectly tell us what his points and views are, which is why I think this movie is well layered and it definitely raises the level for filmmakers. I would give this movie all my 5 stars because I really don't know if there are many more movies that actually puts out a point without explicitly saying it. And I think the director and the entire team deserves a huge round of applause. Trust me, this is a movie that I would any day recommend. The themes, the visuals, the direction, the acting are all what makes this movie a must-watch. You must watch it for you to understand yourself. So with that, I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts about Kumbalangi Nights. I'll see you guys next week with another movie with lots of love. It's your storyteller.